Scott, you and I are checking out a game that's heading to early access. It's called Frozen Flame, and we got some pretty good vibes coming up for this one. What did you think so far?
My first impression was a little tenuous. I thought, this is something I feel like I've seen, I feel like I've played before, but getting further into it, that wasn't really an issue at all.
No, absolutely. It hooked me bright and early in the game. Had a bit of a weird, mysterious start, which I think was kind of interesting. It does have a couple game modes that will be coming at a later date. Right now, we're really just kind of focused on the campaign while everything else is locked. More of a survival mode is on the way, as well as a hard mode will be coming as well to the game. So there are a couple things that are still in development. As we said, this is early access that we had access here too. So getting into the game though, dude, it's a survivor game, right? You're out there surviving the atmosphere in the world. It was once populated by dragons, and you're there to kind of figure out what your ancestors were up to and gain their powers. There's a bunch of gaining powers, but what I really like, dude, is the crafting mechanic. You get in there and you just kind of go out and you forage around, and then you start building whatever you want. You can build your own little fortress. I started off with this pretty basic looking house, and I'm chipping away at building that and putting a roof on it. But then there is a story element that kind of takes you along, but I found myself really kind of drifting away from the story a little bit, just because I was in that mode, in that mood to kind of it's a chill game, dude. At points you just kind of really relax, going out, I'm taking down some trees, I'm gathering some rocks, I'm hammering some stones, getting all kind of resources, and then building up my little hut. And then go from there, going out and fighting a warlock, which crushed me the first time around. So yeah, it was pretty cool, man. I'm enjoying it.
I had some weird early issues where I'm not certain if I just skipped past the tutorial part that was telling me how to construct things. But one of the very first things you make, a stone pickaxe or a stone axe. And okay, that's fine, easy enough. But I couldn't figure out how to manipulate the menu in order to actually make one. I figured it out, we talked, and I got past that hurdle, but then I was a little bit frustrated. Moving on from that point, I thought, okay, the combat's pretty alright. I'm enjoying fighting these little things. It's a little tough, which is fine by me, but when it came to construction, I thought, oh, that's the part that I feel like I've played a million times over. But in this particular instance, it doesn't really drag you for too long. It doesn't you don't have to gather 100 pieces of wood, punching trees and rocks until your hands are bloodied, but it was forgiving on that part. So it was fun to get into a little bit of the construction, but I didn't really let that run away with me. I was more just exploring the world. As we just said just prior to this, it has a look about it. It has a look and feel about it that's not serious. And it sort of reminded us both of Dauntless. So that was nice because, like you said, it's a nice relaxing experience.
No, absolutely. I do love that Dauntless appeal as well, right? We got heavily into that game, and then coming on into Frozen Flame, I got that same familiar art style, and then with the going out and building my own stuff and then heading into the story and exploring what essentially seems like a pretty robust world too. This looks larger than what we get at the very beginning of the world, and it looks like there's a lot to explore. We're still pretty early on in the game. I'm about the 6-hour mark. Scott, where are you at, hovering around?
I want to say about 4 or 5. I think I'm just almost the same experience. I've seen that warlock and lost as well.
Yeah, he was a little bit of a tough fight, but we'll get through it and then move on. And then from there, dude, it just looks like it's going to keep exploring and exploding into other opportunities here. And I'm anxious to get back into it to see what else we can get into. What else? And dude, we never even mentioned it. There's co-op.
Yeah,
that's a cool feature as well.
The multiplayer has to be the big standout for myself, because these construction games are fun and whatever, but I like having a group of friends to be able to build a whole city. I'm not into Minecraft, but I am into this sort of development.
No, absolutely. But like we said, we're early on though, Scott, but if you had to recommend this one or not recommend Frozen Flame, what are you doing?
I had a little bit of a hiccup at the start, but I have to recommend this. If you are a fan of survival games in general, or if you like just craft with a couple friends, I think this is a good fit for you.
No, absolutely. I'm recommending it as well. As I said, we're early, but we're having a great time. And yeah, if we can go out there with co-op, have a good time with friends, and then forage around and build stuff, I'm down.